This is a KGW News Special Edition.
My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Such powerful words over a lunchtime tribute on a day to honor a life and legacy. A restaurant takes on hunger and racism. Hi everyone, I'm Brittany Falkers, and this is a special edition of KGW News celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Our coverage begins in Salem with Devin Haskins and photographer Kurt Austin.
The crowd that gathered on this chalk-covered sidewalk in downtown Salem
would you like the chicken or the salad?
Wasn't just here for the free food.
I was thinking about you today and hope it goes really well. It's so important to me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
It was part of a peaceful day of action organized by the owners of Epilogue Kitchen and Cocktails.
They're always supporting people during Black Lives Matter, during fires. They're a great resource for just getting your information.
My name is Jonathan Jones, and I'm the owner of Epilogue Kitchen and Cocktails, along with my wife, Maura Ryan, who's back there doing all the hard work.
The restaurant owners and staff spent the morning putting Dr. Martin Luther King's words into action.
We're feeding the community, which was a big part of what he did, what the Black Panthers did, what Malcolm X did, every revolutionary movement has involved like nourishing the community, both with food and with information.
It was a different sort of protest, one without the usual marches or signs, but still making their presence known.
One of the things that white supremacists hate is occupation of space by people who are non-white, and so what better way to occupy space than to literally occupy all of the space, including the airwaves.
And it'll be uninterrupted.
Then at noon, while they ate,
a little over an hour of content courtesy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
They listened to that famous speech given nearly 60 years ago.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Words still relevant today as those in Salem ate and listened, not moving, staring straight ahead as the words of a civil rights icon blared across the speakers.
This was being amazing, having this turnout in Salem today, and so much support.
It feels really nice. We've been sort of under this blanket of oppressive weirdness for quite a long while, and this feels good today.
I still have a dream.
In Salem, Devin Haskins.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
KGW News.
I have a dream.
Now, Dr. King's words motivated others to take to the streets of Portland to clean up today. Nearly 400 volunteers with Solve collected more than 4,000 pounds of litter from parks and streets across the city. Some used their day off from work to give back.
We want to keep our city beautiful and clean, and volunteering is the thing to do.
Today's cleanup is part of Solve's monthly effort to pick up trash in the city. Now, volunteer efforts in another part of town will feed hundreds of families on this MLK Day. Here's our Stephen Redlin.
Giving and delivering food boxes today is a way for Kaiser Permanente and the Sunshine Division to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Dr. King talked a lot about service leadership and leading by example.
The example from the Sunshine Division will be a big impact. Kaiser volunteers at this site in Northeast Portland will hand out 3,000 boxes of food for folks in need.
We need something and come over here to pick it up. That's why last week I signed up.
Martin Luther King would be very happy with the work and in the mission that we're doing today by giving back to the community.
The boxes came together with a $90,000 donation from Kaiser Permanente.
You know, I could be one of those families pulling up.
The generosity doesn't stop here. Another 1,000 boxes will be delivered to social service agencies in Longview, Vancouver, Cornelius, Clackamas, and Salem.
I'm taking food boxes to residents. I'm taking 8 this trip.
1,000 more are being hand-delivered to homes.
You know, the past 10 months has been unlike anything we've ever seen before. Today, we're doing the most home deliveries we've ever done in a single day, which I think is fantastic. You know, there's a lot of families that can't get out.
Since last April, the Sunshine Division has been delivering 100 food boxes a day. Today, in tribute to MLK, they'll knock on 10 times as many doors. Volunteers share one hope.
That they will have a full stomach this afternoon or this evening, and they don't have to worry where the next meal is coming from.
The pandemic is really depressing, you know?
Catherine Metzira and her daughter Stephanie are anxious for a more unified world.
I mean, our city's being torn apart. We want peace, we want unity. Can we have our America back?
It's time to just stop, you know, looking at our differences
and get real. Come on.
Figure out how we can all come together.
Their dream, they believe, can begin with a box loaded with hope.
Okay, so today we're going to make an impact, but the goal is to help people at a higher rate than ever before in 2021.
There we go.
Thank you.
Have a good MLK Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
In Northeast Portland, I'm Stephen Redlin, KGW News.
When we come back, business owners in Portland's neighborhood named for Dr. King reflect on the city's past and how we can move forward.
Wake up and do the work. Fill your tank so we can go forward. Fill your neighbor's tank so they can go forward.
Holidays are back, and so is Toyotathon. Toyota, let's go places.
Have an open mind and listen. Don't come in with any preconceived notions.
Everybody is so polarized and divided. Arguing's not going to work.
Be kind to one another. We raise our child up to be kind to other kids. So why can't we take the advice that we give our children?
I think we can move forward, try to be patient with each other, patient with ourselves.
It starts with self-respect. To be able to respect someone else, you got to be able to look in the mirror and like what you see and be able to see the beauty in somebody else.
Welcome back. In 1989, a 7-mile stretch of road in Portland was renamed for Dr. Martin Luther King. Today, it's home to many Black-owned businesses. John Goodwin found the location is a source of pride.
Hello, ladies. Hi.
Seasons change, but the message stays the same at Greenhouse Gallery. Cole Reed is a co-owner. She's as open as the doors here.
When people leave here, I want them to go to their house with joy.
Greenhouse sits just off MLK Boulevard. And Reed is proud to be here. Watching the cars go by gives hope to what could be, what will be, if we help move one another forward.
I'm fortunate to have a community that is fueling the tank and change.
I got a Zoom call coming in.
Chris Gwynn III co-owns Dwell Realty, just a block away.
Well, for one thing, I want to say I feel really proud to have our business on MLK Boulevard. I've always been proud of that.
Born and raised here, Chris says Portland is in his blood. He acknowledges a vibrant city with a dark past.
We've always been able to move a couple steps forward, and then inevitably we move a step or two back in terms of what Will went through last year and racial tensions and whatnot. And so I definitely think this MLK Day is definitely one that sticks out a little bit more.
That's what King was all about, and we want this nation to be healed. We don't want this nation to be divided any longer.
Theodis Kaysen owns Kaysen's Fine Meats, where MLK meets Northeast Alberta.
I grew up as a little boy running up and down these streets and watching it grow and watching it change. Some change for the good, some change not so good.
I think we can do anything, but we must be the champions for change, and that means being uncomfortable. I want you to think about driving forward and the people behind you who may or may not have gas, who may or may not have heated seats.
When you drive towards change, what are you driving in? And how are you getting there?
Let's keep driving, let's go forward, but let's pick the ones up that's down. Let's give them a chance.
On a day of reflection and remembrance, how will we respond as a country, as a community, moving forward, together?
The past is important, but the future, and right now in the future is definitely what we should strive to make better. And I'm hoping we can, as a people and as a city, as citizens.
In Northeast Portland, John Goodwin, KGW News.
Dr. King's influence is being felt across generations. Next, the new leaders of Portland's NAACP reflect on his influence.
We really do care about the families that we serve.
Does it taste like dirt?
This is legacy
And
work.
coming up later, a second episode of our new sponsored series, Expressions in Black. Tonight, the story of AJ McCreary, the founder of the Equitable Giving Circle. Her new food program has farmers of color donating to people of color. The new leadership of Portland's NAACP chapter includes several black women inspired by Dr. King's pursuit of racial justice. Tonight, they look at what's next while reflecting on our history.
They told us never forget who you are and whose you are. Not just my immediate family, not just my mother and my father, my community, my people, my history, my ancestry.
Portland NAACP President Sharon Gary Smith is looking towards the future, but our nation's history, her own history, are always in clear view.
You do it for the next, and you do it to elevate those around you. And so that was a challenge and a charge to me.
She's a Portland native and second-generation black woman leader, the eldest of 4 daughters born to a community organizing racial justice mother and Tuskegee-trained father. She has more than 4 decades of leadership, but will be the first to tell you she hasn't done it alone.
And I wanted to create a space where I could be safe. And I learned that I couldn't do that just for myself. I had to do it in concert with others. So that has been the work.
It's the same in this new role with the Portland NAACP, a position she says she didn't seek out, but one that found her.
We came together with different skills, with different talents, with a different sense of what would matter in a historically powerful organization fighting for racial and social justice. And we saw what wasn't happening, including to us. I mean, I think each of us is individual, how we were treated, how we were not represented, how we were misrepresented. And what we realized is together, we were so powerful, informed, and effective. And then, of course, we were forced to have to say, okay, I'll lead.
By her side in that leadership, Vice Presidents Tamia Deary and Donovan Smith, Secretary Natalie Rush, and Treasurer Ryan Hills.
So organizations that need to change, women are the ones that often raise their hands and get in there and do the work.
They have a vision of transparency, something they called for when former President Edie Mondane resigned after allegations of sexual and physical abuse, accountability, and accessibility.
So I think it's really important that we make sure we're amplifying and elevating Black women and femme leaders, not just here in the NAACP, but all of the Black women and femme leadership in Portland.
And I think that the greatest thing that Dr. Martin Luther King put forth was the establishment of unity in the community.
And now Ryan Hill, who you just heard from at the end there, she had some really amazing things to say. All of these women did. It was really a joy to talk to them. But Ryan talked a lot about what we should be thinking about on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And especially for white folks out there like myself, it's a time for us to reflect and ask ourselves some questions about how we can be allies, how we can be there in the future. And it's really important to do that. Now, this new leadership also tells me that they're looking to get more and more young people involved, believing that they are key in promoting that change. You can learn more about our local NAACP chapter at KGW.com. And as we go to break, here's information on upcoming virtual discussions about MLK's legacy and racial justice.
To be able to look in the mirror and like what you see and be able to see the beauty in somebody else.
Don't let the power overcome your thoughts. You know, people, yeah, what we got. Standing together, united we'll be. Being here for you and there for me. Keeping it tight. Together we'll fight, yeah, with all our might.
An inspiring tune on this MLK Day, the Portland band Moonlight released this music video. The song is called One, and it takes on topics like racial equality and unity, topics the band tell us are so very relevant right now. You can see that full video of One at moonlight.com. Such an important day for us to reflect, remember, and really take hold of the history that we are living through right now. And as we close out our coverage of MLK Day, we invite you to stay right here for a new sponsored series, Expressions in Black. Each Monday at this time, you'll meet an outstanding member of the community. Tonight, the story of A.J. McCreary, the founder of the Equitable Giving Circle.
Expressions in Black on KGW is a sponsored presentation from Heart and Hustle Productions.
Being light-skinned is a different way to move through the world. It is a different experience, period. We're able to slip into spaces and then hold the door open.
AJ has always been AJ. She has always been somebody who is a force to reckon with.
I graduated from Benson High School in Northeast Portland. I went to Xavier University in Louisiana. I was a Femmes debutante, which really helped shape my interest in community service.
Ever since I've known her, she's really kind of been a little stubborn about getting done what she truly feels needs to get done.
Work-wise, like my background is in marketing and development around fundraising, and I hated it. I've always wanted to do this kind of work directly for my community and be able to live off of it. And so during a pandemic, I accidentally created that job. When I think about community, I think of a circle. We're raising money for equity. We're actively giving. And the word circle is encompassing all of the things that we are doing. We have our food program where we are buying produce from Black and brown farmers and giving that produce weekly to Black and brown families across the metro area.
Check it out.
We've started some other little projects, including the plant jam. And it's just an ask for white folks to give plants to BIPOC folks, Black, Indigenous, people of color.
We are providing reparations to the community through plants. So we have them all right here. Also like hanging, look at all the different nooks and crannies and corners. There's something everywhere.
It's just a really beautiful way to create community care, and it's also a way to teach and practice reparations. We're practicing sharing things that we have with other people, no strings attached. You did it with a plant, now you can do it with some money.
You want a little box?
Yeah. Having the right team has made all of this work possible. We really do care about the families that we serve, and we want to serve more families.
Let's put those here.
So when people say, this box feels like it was packed with love and care, because it was.
I've been in the nonprofit world now for about 7 months. I was the executive chef at a restaurant here in Portland. Due to COVID, I pivoted and made the transition to doing fantastic work for the community.
This week, our protein is eggs. Our carb is potatoes. Every box gets one of each onion. So this is Liz, one of our CSA food directors. We've got cabbage, squash, greens, Brussels, and it looks like we've got some peppers as well. Perfect.
Liz has been one of the most amazing parts about building this.
You're heavy.
The details in food systems and food delivery is not my skill set. It's really exciting that I get to learn, because she's an amazing teacher.
Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you. I enjoy doing this work because I get to connect with my ancestors in another way. So especially during these tumultuous times, it's nice to tap into that and do something my people have been doing for a long time.
Getting to build with a team of Black women, Black femmes, and Indigenous women in Portland, Oregon is profound. We're creating community healing, we're creating jobs, we're celebrating. It's the best feeling.
I can get fly, 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 fly. I can get fly, fly, fly.
work really is about creating dignity and care and love. And there's a lot of food programs that happen in our city, state, and nationwide that are horrible. They're just expired food, not culturally specific food, and they do not include the Black and brown food purveyors or farmers. So we're at Headwaters. This is like an incubator program. It's helping the farmers get situated as a farmer, teaching themselves, offering different resources. And so we're gonna go out and see Little Sun Farm, one of the indigenous farms that we work with. It's so pretty out here.
Hey. Hey. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. Brayden is one of our indigenous farmers. She's from the Pueblo tribe, growing a lot of foods that are from her background, from her culture.
They are edible.
It's so good. It's super sweet still.
Right? Mm-hmm. The frost actually does that.
Does it taste like dirt?
Just on the outside.
Hopefully our program will help more Black and brown farmers and indigenous farmers.
Ooh,
well, look at that color. These are my favorite. We really believe in giving people food that we as a group would want to eat. And so on the same tip, we are paying market rate, which is really awesome for the farmers so that they can actually have a chance of surviving. Wait, and I'm taking these home and making them. Let's do business in a way that's sustainable for everybody. Should have brought my fancy basket. And I see why people want to be out here working, because that view is amazing. All right, hoop house time. It's been really cool to get feedback from the families. Having access to farm fresh veggies is helping their health, helping their wellness. Supporting Black and brown farmers, supporting indigenous folks, supporting women-owned businesses is the root of our work. So we get to support people that look like us, that move through the world like us. It's magic. Our generation who are now moving in spaces of power professionally, our ask is different. The way that we think is differently, the way that we show up is differently. Like, this is the recipe for amazing things to happen. My name is AJ McCrary, and these are my expressions.
In terms of streetwear in Portland, there's not too many Black-owned businesses. My name is Jordan Carter, and I am an entrepreneur. We consider ourselves to be more than just a store, but a destination. For me, it's just special to be able to give back to a lot of the designers I see coming up. I care about helping those around me. How you like that?
This sponsored program on KGW has been a community presentation of Heart and Hustle Productions.